what's up, folks? Welcome to another episode of This Week in Customs. This is Brock, your host, and I'm excited to tell you some incredible news. The hashtag This Week in Customs has over 10,000 submissions just in 2019. And that just really inspired me to do this video. I started going through that hashtag and seeing some of these amazing customs that were submitted. I thought, hey, let me pick my absolute favorite ones of this year. Let me talk about them one last time to close off 2019 and then maybe inspire us onto season 2 in 2020. So that's what we're gonna do. So buckle up, Buttercup. There's quite a few customs that I'm gonna talk about, and this may be the absolute longest episode that we've had so far. Let's get it going right now with Louen Aiden's Mecha Hulk. Holy goodness, this thing, when I first saw it, and this was early on, I had just gotten myself the figure. I had acquired it actually on the low players, Brockonomics, hashtag Brockonomics, you know what I'm saying? And then I saw this. And then I wasn't that excited about my Mecha Hulk because this thing is an absolute beauty. I think the kit bash is dynamite. There he has it all splayed out after he had painted it. But here you can see the kit bash. And this is thinking outside. This is, man, this is such a great idea. He's got Marvel Select parts there. And he also has gloves from the Creech figure, and then he was able to just bring it all together into that absolute amazing custom. And you're gonna hear me say absolute amazing. This is incredible. Oh my gosh, the kit bash. Yes, I'm gushing over these figures that I've already talked about one last time. Toys A to Z killed it with this Hulk right here, and it was one of the first times that I think I've seen the Joe Fixit done on the here we go. Words are very difficult sometimes. Kingpin body, and there you have it for size. And it's not just the Kingpin. He obviously has done some modifications to those arms, and he actually may have used a Hulk arm on that and got an amazing look. All right, Bordag Customs, definitely one of my favorite customizers this year. This custom right here was the one for me that was his best, and it's very simple. It's the Marvel Select, again using a Marvel Select, and he's armed it up and then done a repaint. And for me, this just does it for me in so many different levels. I want this custom on my shelf, and I'll eventually do it. And I talked to him, and he showed me where I got the parts, etc. I think the skull is going to be primary, and getting the skull right. He was the champion this year with his Ghost Rider. Great custom, but for me, this one right here is my favorite one that he did. And obviously he does a great job with Photoshop, highlights, and showcases his custom like no one else in the business. Weapon X Customs, speaking about great photographs, I used this, I think, as a cover of one of the episode that it appeared in. Great shot. But I absolutely love that stash, man. That is just it. That head sculpt is fantastic. Adding that stash makes it even better. If that head sculpt can be even better. But here you can see it's a simple. This is a simple repaint, right? A simple repaint of that MCU Hulk with that mod to the face, and it to me it's an outstanding custom. One of the customs that stood out to me also was this one by Face Customs. And I'm surprised it didn't get more likes than it has, because the paint job on this thing is absolutely unreal. And I don't think it won in that week. Maybe it's because the character isn't so popular, but I'm just looking at the artist's work here. Those colors, I don't know if he used those color changing paints. I know Turbo Dork has some, or if he was able to do that himself. I don't know how he achieved that look in the paint, but it's a phenomenal piece. Absolutely love it. Don't play a drinking game with how many times I say absolute, because you will end up in the hospital or dead. All right, Korriban Customs right here with this Joker. A use of a body, and then changed the head and added some sculpt. You can look back at the episode. Actually, go to his own page. Go to these artists' page and check them out, because they just do amazing work. Love the paint job on here. Amazing, absolute. How many more adjectives can I use to describe these customs. I don't know, but they're fantastic, and I need to save some energy because this is we're not even scratching the surface with all these amazing customs that we're going to talk about. All right, Craig Warwick. Everybody knows that he's my favorite customizer. He is brilliant. He has vision for how he wants his figures to look. He draws them out, and this one right here is it's not one of his most difficult customs that he's done, but what he's able to achieve here, and take a look at the 360. Oh my gosh, man. Gorgeous. It's just great. He doesn't put that many customs out a year. Same with Action Figure Toronto, another guy that's in my top 5 customizers. The guy is also brilliant, and it just is the colors that he's able to achieve in these custom action figures are standout. And he does tutorials. Go check him out at actionfiguretoronto.com. Another guy that's not prodigious in his customizing. He does 1 or 2 a year that he shares, and every time he does it, I learn something from his work, and I'm very appreciative that he shares it with the rest of the custom community on his page, so we can learn from his art, and it's fantastic. Man, I love that. Love all the colors. And then he obviously made that cigar that wasn't included in it, but perfection. Moving on to another artist that I learned a lot from. As a matter of fact, with this Beast repaint, I had done one, and I had done a tutorial on the channel, and then I saw his, and I'm like going, man, I could have made mine so much better by doing a little bit more, paying a little bit more attention to the details, and that's exactly what I did. I do have a video. It's not gonna be as nice as this, but I did get a pretty decent result. I just absolutely love how he is able to contrast all those different blues. The mouth, it just brings it out, and you know the face, it's pretty flat, right? It's a flat and shiny, I should say flat as far as details go, but not really when you add the paint to it. The sculpt is amazing. Obviously Mike here, he added a little bit to the hair to give it his own style, but this look can be achieved by hand. You don't have to use an airbrush. I did it by hand, he did it by hand. You can tell on here, and it looks amazing. Take a drink. Don't take a drink, you'll end up in the hospital. All right, Chimera Concepts Customs right here with this red tornado. And let me get to, this is my favorite picture of the bunch. I love that effect. That effect makes that whole custom look dynamic. If I had this custom, this is precisely how I would display it on my shelf. It's beautiful, a great attention to detail, and it's a Mezco style custom. I'm just showing you all his photographs, and there's the effect. Wow, man, just fantastic, fantastic. Absolutely love it. One of my favorite customizers this year. Dino Designs. Check this out. Let me let you enjoy that right there. He's obviously done modifications to the teeth and the tongue and the whole dinosaur. And this is the one that inspired me to finally say, you know what? I am going to, if I can find that colossal T-Rex on sale, I'm going to pick it up. And I did. I finally did. And eventually, I'm either going to do this or a devil dinosaur on it. But man, look at that shot. I think this may have been the cover of the thumbnail of the This Week in Customs episode that it appeared on. So let's move on to the next custom. Let's see. All right, Christina Conan. I featured her numerous times on the channel. She's prodigious in her customs, and she is excellent at the work that she does. And this is one of my favorite Lady Death. My words are getting stuck. Lady Death Strikes out there. Great use of soft goods. Overall appearance so elegant with those death hands right there. Man, very nice work. I dig it. All right. Here's a friend of mine, a buddy of mine. He is not a customizer, which makes this even more impressive than it is. This is his version of Darth Talon. It's Talon, right? Yeah. And I think this may be only the second one that he's ever done, and the tattoos nailed it. He did some machine work on that, and because those pieces are actual metal, and man, very great custom, especially the fact that he's not a customizer. He doesn't put out customs like, for example, like Symbiote Seeker does, who's putting out a lot of customs. Darth Holocron, I think he's only done 2. All right, Symbiote Seeker, one of my favorite customizers as well. He does very good work. He does a lot of detail sculpts, great paints. But when you look at this figure right here, and this is another one that I was shocked that it did not get more attention than it did. It only has 136. I'm not sure, again, if it's views or likes. I forget how Instagram does it. But this Skeletor for me is probably the best looking 1/12 scale Skeletor out there, period. I've seen other customs. This one's the best. This is probably in the top 3 favorite customs that he's done this year. That character, if you're an old guy like me in the 80s, you were a kid, dude, that's money. Obviously, he's using some parts that were produced by Mattel. I think it's Mattel, and an Omega Red body that he's repainted right there. But look at that custom, man. It doesn't have to be super complicated to be an awesome custom, and for me, that's a great custom. Let's take a look at 360. We can take a look at it, and let me just make sure the volume is down on here. Yeah, it's fantastic, man. I absolutely love that custom. Another absolute. Demonic Poo Creations. Now, we go from no sculpt to a ton of sculpt right here. This was the custom that kind of brought him into the realm of, oh, wow, I got to notice this customizer's work. I want to follow his work because this is amazing. Look at that. From that art, I think he completely nailed that look. Go take a look at his page so you can see all the different levels of sculpt that he had to add to that to make it look awesome. This one's one of my favorite ones for obvious reasons. Killer Echo, I think he's, in my opinion, the most improved artist from the beginning of the year. If you look at his first customs to where he ended up doing that absolute carnage at the end, it was outstanding. But when he did that artwork in the back and he made me this custom action figure as pretty much the channel mascot. This is Captain Brock, guys, and I love it. And it's going to be a part of my collection for as long as I'm alive. And this thing is, man, it was a great surprise. I didn't expect it, and it was a wonderful piece, and I appreciate it. Thanks again. Wing Stoke. All right. Has anybody else made a Gold Balls? I don't know if anybody else has made a Gold Balls. I know somebody else is working on a Gold Balls, but has anybody else done a Gold Balls? I saw this and it brought a smile to my face. I've read some comics with this character in it. I know apparently he's prominent in the Powers of X and House of X current storyline that's happening. I'm not caught up to it yet, but it definitely nails the look of the character, and yeah, it's just, I think it was a great use of that Doc Ock base for him, and this was one of the standout customs for me in 2019. The Kids Custom Disaster right here, wait until she comes into the page. It's like she jumped out of the comic book, and for me, that is an amazing job of making that cartoon come to life, or that comic come to life in real life. Just in real life, I was going to say in 3D. I don't. What should I use on that? But it was a wonderful custom. D.L. Turner, another master craftsman right here. This one also, I was surprised. And again, we're all different. We're all different things. We're gonna enjoy them differently. And these were the customs that I enjoyed the most from this year. And for me, this is one of the best Mantis customs in the classic outfit that I've seen. And it didn't get as many views as I thought that it would have had. So I encourage you, go follow this guy because he does amazing stuff. Lee Aller does a lot. He is also at the very top of the game. He's been a customizer and a top level customizer for a while. And he did this Captain Hydra, or what do we call it? Yeah, Captain Hydra. He manufactured that throne that he's sitting on, and he did some retooling of some body parts and sculpting, and then painted that up. And I think it looks great. He does a lot of, like he also did a proton cannon for, what was his name? Iron Man. That was pretty fantastic. Kudos to you. DWRX Dave, I think he's newer to Instagram, I think, because I've seen this custom in the past, and it's one of my favorite Venom pools that I've ever seen, the detail work, and I think it's an older custom, but he was newer to Instagram. I knew him from Facebook, and the stuff that he does is outstanding. Here's his representation, and from the paint, and it's an older, so he's improved on his skill, but look at the details, look at the stitching, look at the texture of the tongue, the teeth, the paints. Everything about this custom is outstanding, and that's where it started from. I love to see the progression when a customizer starts from the Ultimate Goblin and then ends up with this masterpiece figure. Just beautiful if you're into Venom pools. Captain Snick, right. So we followed this custom for a while because he did work on it for quite a bit, because he did a lot of sculpting, everything, the shins, the belts, the thigh holsters, everything on there, except for maybe I think that upper piece came with the cable. That arm is sculpted, and he did a lot of it. And by the way, that was a great gun. Now I can't go back. But let's see if I included it. Here you can see all that stuff in green is sculpted. So you can see he did the arm. And this was over a KO Thanos figure that I think he picked up on eBay for like 25 bucks. So this is gonna be a big cable. Fantastic work, bro. Great job. Ace Outlaw Customs, covered him earlier in the year. He hasn't put out so many completed custom action figures towards the end of the year. I think he's gotten busy with life. But this is outstanding. He had just redone the hair. This is an older custom that he had worked on, but look at all that metal. And if you're familiar with Scalp Hunter, you can see that's like it's perfection as far as action figure representation goes. Just a really nice work by Ace. Markai Lab Creations, I call him the Kit Bash Meister. And this again is just adding some parts to, I think is this the Hulkbuster Build-A-Figure, or is this even a bigger one? I can't tell now that I think about it. But that's the front. Let me see how much of it. He added so many cool looking gears and stuff like that, make it look like steampunk style. You can see the wings. And it's very creative. Sometimes there's just people that are able to visualize parts. You have your fodder bin and going, I'm going to use that, and this, and add it to this figure and make it look awesome. Look at that, man. Just a gorgeous piece, and it's a humongous piece too. All right, Draw Customs. This was the custom that drew my attention to him as a customizer, and this is simple for him. That is just a kit bash of parts, and I really like the aesthetic, the Bane aesthetic that he's got going on here. Like how he painted the veins, did a really good job, and I think I may have used that photograph right there for the thumbnail. Some things are aesthetically pleasing for me, maybe not for you, and it's okay. But guess what? This week in customs comes from me. And I'm choosing the ones that I like, and I love that Bane. Just like I like this Scarecrow right here. This Scarecrow, what it caused me to do when I saw this, I go, I want to make that figure. So I went and I acquired some of those parts, and I still haven't made it, but I think it's a cool looking custom from Low Effort Customs. And I wouldn't say that this was low effort, because this Scarecrow has multiple parts, and you're gonna see in the last picture how many parts he's included in this custom action figure. So if you were to have this, you could display them with multiple different accessories, and it's just fantastic. By the way, I told you this was going to be a long episode. We're already 20 minutes in, and I'm not even through halfway. All right, Christina Conan. Love her work, but I think that this custom right here is the one that I think, for me, well, I should just say not think. This is my favorite custom that she did. Love it. I love the colors. I love the look and attention to detail. Those stripes came out great. Nicely done, and I'm sure that you have a favorite one for Christina. And what I would like to know is, what is your favorite one? What were your top 5 favorites? List them in the comments below if you're still with me. And if you are, you're probably one of the core fans of this show, and I appreciate you. Luanaden's custom, another one for me. It's a standout because it looks great. You can see the size of that. That's using an Ultimate Goblin base, or maybe it's a Hulk base. It's, you know, they use the same one. And those wings are from a Spawn figure, and they look great. I don't know where he got that lion head. It's not Titus, right? It's not Titus, but it's a great look. And Griffin is a pretty interesting character that I've run into recently in the comics. So that custom even it stands out even more today after reading those comics with him in it. Brimstone Ghost Customs, he's going to have a couple of customs showcased on this last episode here, this final episode, the best of episode. And yeah, great job on the soft goods, great use of that faux fur, and it's an outstanding looking custom. Wow. Yeah, that's great. It really is. It's a good shot. And that face, obviously, after repainted, it looks better than how Hasbro painted it. Chimera Concept Customs with another one. This Scarecrow is fantastic. I think I must be a fan of the Scarecrow because I wanted to do this custom. He's obviously done custom work to that head, and the accessories that he added to this package. I think he sold this already. So if you wanted this, it's not available anymore. I think he sold it on eBay. But look at that. Just a great look for Scarecrow. My gosh, man. Fantastic. How many times have I said fantastic? You guys have a count? There's so many adjectives that one can use when describing custom action figures. This was a more recent custom, and it's a repaint with some cloth goods added, and it's beautiful. I think this is an outstanding, get it out, come on, outstanding look for the Lizard. And yeah, man, I know this is using a croc body from DC, and that this figure is limited in articulation, but do you want him in any other pose than that? I mean, come on, player. It just looks really, really good. I think you did a good job on that, on weathering the soft goods to make it look dirty and dingy like if he's in the sewers. Good work. All right, Draw Customs, another Draw Customs special right here with Geralt, the Witcher, Geralt of Rivia. And I did see the Netflix, and that was my first exposure to Geralt other than the customs that you guys have been putting out. But this one's really, really good. I think he did a great job on the armor, pretty accurate to what I've seen. Now, the one thing that I definitely recommend you do, and that head sculpt's great, but use the Superman. Use the Superman. Come on. You need that actor's head on here because that for me is going to be forever. Geralt of Rivia. All right, moving on to the next one, Face Customs. Here's another phenomenal looking Lady Deathstrike, completely different than the one that Christina Conan did, but it's the same character, and I love to see high-level customizers take a gander at the same character, and you can just see how many different ways you can express in figure form and custom form one of the more beloved characters, one of the more evil baddies, right? Great job on that. And let's take a look at a 360 because you do have videos, and I love putting out videos. Yeah, look at the paint job on that. Man, just great job. All right, moving on to, speaking of paint jobs, this is really, really cool by DF action figures. This custom has been sold. Sorry if you wanted it. Maybe you can commission him to do another one. But I love this whole transitioning morph look. It looks dynamic. There's just something about this one. I used this one as the thumbnail cover because it left such an impression. It's a beautiful idea of a custom, and who knows, maybe in the future I'd love to do something like that. Hopefully it can come out just as nice. Markai Lab Creations. Obviously there's effects on this figure, but again, look at the kit bash of this thing. I don't think I ever saw him work on it. I think I may have become a fan after the fact, and this was one of his older customs, and I tried to go look for it and see if I could see what it looked like in a normal environment. But just beautiful. I love the whole, now I forget, steampunk. The steampunk look is definitely a good genre to have. I think if I had a steampunk shelf, it would be pretty awesome. Dambo Shinobi with this Weapon X, and what he did here, he's using an older, I think it's a Toy Biz, that thing's a Toy Biz container, Weapon X, I forget what it's called. He told me, but I can't remember right now. But that tank is just, it looks great. I think that's the newer Weapon X that he's got on there, and he's lit up with some LED lights in the back. So obviously you'd need to do a little bit of, I'm not sure if you actually soldered anything on there. Maybe you didn't, because those lights don't necessarily need to be soldered. They can just be used on batteries, and I think that just looks awesome. I'm not sure if you did weathering on it. I don't know exactly what you custom on it, but I just think it looks awesome. Maybe the dirt, or that you know, to make it look like rusty inside and the bubbles. It looks awesome, dude. I want that. I want that on my shelf. All right, Urirvana right here. This is the photograph. I absolutely love what he did with that head sculpt representing this character, Age of X-Man, Nate Gray. And this is a storyline that you'd probably want to read before you get to the Powers of X and House of X storyline. Let me just show you some of his other ones. I think that's my favorite head sculpt out of the ones that he did. Here's a video of the character. So if you know, I did not know who this character was when I first saw this custom. And again, that one's right there is my favorite head sculpt out of the ones that he has. And here we go. Bam! Nice work, Urirvana. Josh Arizota, aka Double Flip Customs, does fantastic work. I was familiar with this artist from Facebook. He does have a Facebook page. Go check that out. And he does take commissions, and he does phenomenal paint work. This is an MCU Deadpool, and I think we may have another one coming up from him later on in this episode. Charles Chop Shop, he's done quite a few customs. I really like what he's got going on here. The soft goods, some minor detailing that he did to this already very nice Hasbro Legend. But man, it's just, I remember seeing this and going, I want to do that with my vision. And that's what it's all about. A lot of these artists inspire other artists to do their own work. And Bargain Bin Customs right here with his, it says his first custom Mesco style figure, DC character Hush. I really like the head there. It looks good. The jacket looks good. The soft goods. And you guys know that I'm not a huge fan of the Mesco style, but I think this custom looks great. Dale Turner, another one of his customs is Storm. Look at the hair on that. He's got some nice shades of blue in that white hair, which is great. I love seeing blues on the whites, and it's a very nice looking Storm action figure. Excuse me, Mike, again. This was, I don't know why some of these customs, and again, it just goes down to what you like. I absolutely loved this custom. Absolutely loved it. Black Swan, but it didn't get as much love as I thought it should have had. And there you have it. And it's kind of a simple kit bash. The hair is not simple to do unless you've been doing it for a while. But take a look at this custom. It's just so nice. Very pretty custom. and it works perfectly for this character. It's actually one of my favorite ones that Mike did this year. Moving on to another Ace Outlaw Customs, and this one is a Mezco style Mr. Freeze, and he's got so many parts going on here. I can't remember if this video does show it off. All those are magnet, they're removable with magnets. You can pretty much strip Mr. Freeze down to his chonies there, and man, good use of parts. Those shoulder pads obviously from Omega Red, and maybe this is the video where he takes some of the parts off. I think he may have still been working on it now. No, it says finished up all the detail pieces and final paint detail. So he is now finished. So I thought maybe he just sent me a video on the DMs that show his magnet. I'm waiting for him to remove it. Are you gonna remove this thing? Nope, we're just gonna get a long look at that Mr. Freeze. All right, Korriban Customs right here. Love the head sculpt for this character, and the paint job is amazing. Now, if you compare this one to the, do you have the DC one on here? I think you may have taken it, no, maybe not here. You go to his page, you can see this beast compared to what DC put out, and this is, it's incomparable. Nice job on those paints. Markai Lab Creations, I think actually this is the figure. This is the figure, that Goliath, that really brought my attention to this artist. I had seen his customs before, and this one's not a particularly difficult kit bash that he's got going on, but it doesn't have to be super intricate to be cool or hit the right spot. And for me, that Goliath is awesome. He did a great job, and I remember like I'm going, I need to get one of those Thor figures. I need to find it on the low on Ross so I can do a Goliath on that body. Right. So speaking of intricate action figures, we go from Goliath right there that wasn't super intricate but I loved, and then you go to one that is super extreme intricate, a lot of parts, a lot of sculpting, great paint job right here, and it's probably one of the best customs that I've seen, if not the best customs in my opinion for 2019 that we're hashtagging this week in Custom Symbiote Seeker. He's also improved a lot on his skill. He already had skills to begin with, but this is just shows a lot of his ability to do sculpting and then to think outside the box with making parts work. Moving on to the next one, Brimstone Ghost Customs. All right, another Scarecrow. You guys know I'm a fan. I'm a fan of Scarecrow. I don't even know why. It's not like I've read him a lot. I think I just like the character designs that I've seen on a lot of these custom action figures. This is Mezco style with soft goods, and most of them have been with soft goods with Scarecrow. Here you have a closer look at that face that just did a great job with that. Let me see what other accessories you have. I think you got that accessory from the DC. Or were you the one that manufactured those needles? I can't recall, but if you guys are interested, go back and check out these customs. You can see why I'm getting excited about the customs. Definitely love this right there, right there. This pose for Carnage and the way that this body works. Absolutely love that custom by Kobocop Customs. He doesn't put out too many, but I think this, he worked it with this custom, and I think he's using some of the older school hips there, right? Because you can see it's just a hinge, but again, that's how I would display Carnage, just like that. It wasn't a Croc custom. Who was it? The Lizard custom. That's how I would pose him, and it works, and I absolutely love it. Another Ace Outlaw Customs. The head is fantastic on this thing. Obviously, we're going to be getting a Build-A-Figure. Look at the contrast from that upper body to those legs, bro. Come on, man. Come on. Who did this guy? Was it Liefeld? Was it Rob Liefeld? I can't remember the artist that first drew him. Oh, but he's using, it looks like he's using a Juggernaut upper body, and I don't know, are those Titus legs maybe? Maybe smaller than Titus? Or are those Titus? I think, looking at the shoes, it may be Titus. But yeah, it's a good look. I love that head sculpt. Customs by Machu. All right, for this random figure, really cool. It's a great look, captures the look of Random, but let's get to the video because he did something very, very clever here that I needed to put in my memory bank to use for a future custom, because I think this is a great way to swap out parts. So what he did here is, instead of using a joint, a peg, he's using a magnet to swap out the arms. Super clever, and it works, man. Great job. That's a customizer that also thinks outside the box. It's Vintage. This is my favorite custom that It's Vintage has done, and he does a ton. He puts out new customs every single week. Go check out his page. And this custom is in my collection. Maybe I'm particularly biased, but I absolutely love the look of Mr. Nigma right there. Oh yeah, this is definitely one of the best looking Riddler figures. Great use of Smart using that body and that head. And I can't remember, did you make that hat? I don't know where that hat came from. I know that you made his staff, but I can't remember where you got that hat from. But it's in my collection, players. It's in my collections. All right, Don's Dios. New customizer. Matter of fact, he wasn't even part of the voting. Hey, he was in the last episode that I just showcased people after the vote. And this is his Punisher War Machine. Great use of parts, great kit bash, nice looking paints, man, and it's great. Again, if you have the vision for adding parts to figures and just do a little bit of paint job, I think obviously the skull came out pretty good in the front. And yeah, that's a truly weaponized Punisher War Machine right there. It looks beautiful. Don's Dials, great job. Markai Lab Creations. This was a very unique piece. Immortal Hulk is a very popular comic right now for Marvel, and I haven't read one in a while, but this just captured, you see all the ripping. That's Bruce Banner and the Hulk, and there's multiple characters and they're ripping out of his body, and it's a great piece. And I think this one didn't get enough love either. It should have gotten more, in my opinion. I think that's a brilliant custom. All right, another Kyle Robinson custom. Again, this guy does fantastic work. I love the paints on this. I know it's black, but he's got a little bit of blue in that black, and that always looks good. Blue goes with black and whites really well. You see that on the collar. It's a very good custom, and she looks fantastic. Nicely done. Mantree project with a repaint, a little bit of retooling with this NECA figure. And I love repaints, man. Repaints, if done well, can really add a lot to a figure. Mantree project did a great job with this repaint. Let's see some other photographs right here. That's where it started from, and that's where it ended. Come on, man. Huge difference. Now, this custom was interesting because I wasn't sure if he was completely done. He says 90%. I haven't seen him do updates, but I think this Grim Knight just looks great. It's a Mezco figure, but it's super geared up. Look at all the weaponry that he has on that Batman. Fantastic look. I love the weapons, and it makes the figure, like those straps. I don't know where you got those straps. Did it come with another? I don't know enough about Mezco figures, but Todd's Action Figures Custom did a fantastic job on that. Josh Arizona Double Flip, one of the best, if not the best, when it comes to Spider-Man figures. Look at the lines, look at the face on that. Beautiful job. And what he's got over a lot of the other guys is presentation too. He takes great shots. Here's some up close on those lines, and yeah, can you compare that to the Marvel Legend? No way, Jose. Double thwip at it again. Dude, oh, wasn't expecting that head. I've never seen that one before. What the heck? That looks great. All right, Nikki Nicole. She is the constant for these Mythic Legions as far as getting them the customs. I mean, I just don't see them that often. Here's one of my favorite ones that she's done. And I just don't know enough about the parts to tell you, other than she's doing a lot of paint work and a lot of mixing of parts, and they all look great. I love the Lord of the Ring franchise, and this guy, this King Norbin Crystalbeard, reminds me of that look, and I love it. Nice job in pictures as well. Fantastic. And speaking of fantastic paint jobs, John Walker Customs does Star Wars like no one else. Look at the weathering on this Mandalorian. Wow, dude. Caliber Creation says phenomenal job. Let's use that. It is a phenomenal job. Looks great. Wentzilla. All right, I really like his idea here with this BB-8 Assault Droid Custom. And it's just that he likes doing these mixing of parts for characters that you have a set view on, and then he completely changes it up, and I dig this one. Pretty cool. I like that custom. Was one of my favorite ones that you did this year. And speaking of amazing customs, this custom came after all the shows were done. This is such an amazing custom, and I'm hoping to use it as the thumbnail. I'm asking him to take a picture. Hopefully it'll work out. If not, somebody else gets the picture. The Merciless. Man, that looks so good. There's so much scope work right there that you guys just don't get to see. Let's take a look at his face, because he nails the character so well here. And he's using, I think it's Procreate that he likes to use, and in my opinion, it's one of the most difficult putties to use on action figures, and somehow he gets it to work. Let's see the back of this figure so you can see he did sculpting there too. It's not just the front, it's also the back, players. Come on, there it is. Yeah, just a fantastic job. One of the best customs so far that I've seen in these last couple of weeks, and he is just finished it. Go check him out. All right, folks, with that is the end of this episode. More to come, hopefully in 2020. We'll see how that pans out. My plan is to do a season 2, and I have a couple different things that are going to be different, but I haven't worked them out completely. Hopefully I'll be able to share them with you soon. Thank you so much for your support this year. Keep posting to the hashtag This Week in Customs. It's become, in my opinion, my humble opinion, the premier hashtag for custom action figures on Instagram. There's some of the longer standing ones, but if you put it on This Week in Customs, people are gonna notice your customs. Put in there, and hopefully there will be a show to go along with it next year in 2020. Saying that, Brock is out.